KHOU11 News at 6 starts now.
Hello there and good evening to you. I'm Mia Gradney.
And I'm Lynn Cannon. Thank you for watching our 6 p.m. webcast.
Right now, the University of Houston men's basketball team is playing in the Elite Eight of the men's NCAA tournament. But we want to make sure you get the day's big headlines online and on the KHOU11 app.
First, we got breaking news in the Clear Lake area. There is a huge fire at the Bayfront Towers. These are condos on Lakeside Lane. You can see from Air 11 all that thick white smoke. The fire starting at about 3:30 this afternoon. No reports so far of any injuries. We do know the fourth floor collapsed and about 35% of the building is damaged. No word so far on how this fire started. Testimony has ended in day one of the Derek Chauvin trial. He's the former Minneapolis police officer accused in the death of George Floyd. The trial drawing international attention, but with Floyd being from Houston's 3rd Ward, the story hits close to home. That's why we're following this case so closely.
Marcelino Benito is live and walks us through day one.
Well, guys, it was an emotional day in the courtroom already. The graphic video of Floyd's death played out in its entirety, and we now know it was the first time a lot of these jurors had seen any of it ever. Prosecutors and defense attorneys laid out their strategies in opening statements today. Prosecutors tell us they will prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Chauvin murdered Floyd by putting a knee to his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. Defense attorneys say Chauvin did what he was trained to do and say it's Floyd's heart disease and drug use that led to his death last May. Prosecutors' first witness was a 911 dispatcher who saw the incident play out on city surveillance cams. What she saw made her call the police on the police. The jury also heard from a witness who worked at the gas station across the street. She was not as effective as prosecutors had hoped. The trial will be live streamed in its entirety. Before things got underway today, Floyd's family and attorneys took a knee for 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
George Floyd was living, breathing, walking, and talking just fine until the police put him face down and put him in handcuffs and put a knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. So this murder case is not hard when you watch that torture video of George Floyd.
Protesters have gathered outside the courthouse and plan to be there every day throughout the duration of this trial. Security has been beefed up in Minneapolis and tensions do remain high. Now, this trial is expected to take up to 4 weeks. And if Chauvin is convicted of the most serious charge, he faces up to 40 years in prison. Back to you.
All right, Marcelino, thank you. KHOU is your source for continuing coverage of this trial. Remember, watch it live every day from 9 to 5 on KHOU.com, the KHOU mobile app, Roku, or Fire TV.
This afternoon, the State Health Department launched a new one-stop-shop vaccine scheduling website. It comes the same day they allowed everyone 16 and older to get the shot in Texas. Adam Bennett has the details for you.
Mia, Houston's mayor was here at the University of Houston this afternoon. He was announcing a challenge between local universities to try to sign up as many students and alumni for the vaccine as possible. Earlier today, hundreds of people turned out for a neighborhood outreach vaccine site in North Houston. People could get the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine without an appointment. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee and United Memorial Medical Center put on that event. They're trying to make it easier for people in higher risk areas to get vaccinated, and especially people without transportation. One man told us getting to a large vaccine site like Energy Stadium is tough.
I would have to catch a bus and maybe 2 buses or 3, and all my friends are at work at this time. So I'm glad she put it in the neighborhood where I can walk here and walk home.
This afternoon, Texas Department of State Health Services launched a new online vaccine scheduler. You can sign up for the shot through several health departments in one place. That's at getthevaccine.dshs.texas.gov. And if you don't have internet or you want help making an appointment, you can call 833-832-7067. That hotline is open from 7 to 7 every day. Here in Houston, health department officials say those vaccines are still a hot commodity. They say all 5,000 appointments that opened up for this week filled up almost instantly. Mia?
No surprise there, but good news. Adam Bennett, thank you. And for all things vaccine, just text the word vaccine to 713-526-1111. We'll text you back with a list of local numbers to call and websites to visit. We also have information scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
Let's talk weather. What a way to start the week. A magnificent Monday. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yes. And we are hopeful for a terrific Tuesday. What's it going to be? Give it to us, Addison.
Well, guys, we do see a little bit of some scattered shower activity slowly moving on in over the course of the next day or so as we're watching a few fronts move across the Houston metro area. So I hope you had the chance to get out and enjoy this marvelous Monday, because we do have the showers coming our way. Once this cold front passes our way for Wednesday, it does get drier and brighter for Thursday and Friday, but the temperatures go down. So if you do step out, you're going to need to probably grab something a little thicker than what you had on earlier today. In which case today, it was a marvelous day. It got towards seasonable levels, a high of 74 degrees after a morning low of 44. So we did start off a little chilly, but the afternoon hours were just fine. And it's still quite nice out there across the Galveston area, but we are watching those clouds slowly creep on in as a warm front's in sight. It's going to be passing this way overnight. We got 66 degrees out there at the beach with a good breeze coming in off the Gulf of Mexico. Where further inland you go, it is milder. We have lots of low to mid 70s still during this hour. We also do have still clear skies across our northern counties, but right across the heart of Harris County and southward, the clouds have thickened up a little bit, and there's a little bit of some scattered shower activity pushing on in across the northern sections of Fort Bend County up towards Brazoria County as well. Just some little drizzle here and there that you may hit your windshield wiper. Now, as you make your way throughout the rest of the day today in towards the night, we can see that warm front moving on up across our area. Scattered shower activity will slightly increase come daybreak tomorrow, with a few pockets of some light to moderate rain coming our way. And then by the afternoon hours, some sunny breaks as we start to watch those temperatures rise into the low to even mid 80s coming our way. Then by Wednesday, we have a cold front pushing on down from Dallas throughout the morning hours. It'll bring scattered showers and thunderstorms through midday on Wednesday. High pressure drops on in overnight into Thursday morning, and then it gets a little chilly out there. But we definitely do need the rain because a lot of the metro area is experiencing some drought conditions. Throughout this evening, it's going to be from pleasant to mild, with temperatures going down into the 60s over time. And as you look throughout the next several days, here comes that cold front. Temperatures dropping throughout the day on Wednesday. It's a little chilly to start off April, but as we make our way into the holiday weekend ahead, it does look nicer and brighter around town.
We turn now to the crisis on the border. Republican Senator Ted Cruz is in downtown Dallas this afternoon. He's touring the Kay Bailey Hutchison Convention Center. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is using the facility now to house unaccompanied minors. This comes after Cruz and fellow Senator John Cornyn toured the intake center in Donna, just outside McAllen. That Dallas site exists, by the way, because processing facilities along the border are overcrowded. It might take several days, but once a child's information is placed in a federal database, the work of an immigration attorney can begin. And Melissa Correa learned lawyers across Houston are standing by and ready to help. Mel?
Hey there, Mia. And that leg of the immigration process, guess what, folks, is bottlenecked and backlogged too. Between the pandemic and limited immigration judges, Houston attorneys are ramping up for a long road ahead.
Harris County is definitely one of the places that has sort of the largest number of children resettled.
Terry Cody is the legal director for Catholic Charities Houston. The nonprofit helps in all aspects of an immigrant's journey, from assisting just across the border in Mexico to running a respite center in the Rio Grande Valley, to helping children and families navigate immigration courts here.
We've been doing this actually since 1983. We also work with a lot of fabulous pro bono attorneys in the Houston area.
The Houston Legal Services Collaborative includes free and low-cost legal help from a number of community organizations.
So we're gearing up to do a lot more outreach and referrals.
Once children and families move through federal processing, they'll begin their legal fight to stay in the U.S.
Sometimes we forget, I think, how foreign and intimidating this whole process is. And especially, you're talking about folks that have been through trauma already.
From why they fled their home country and who they're leaving behind, to the abuse from smugglers and fear of what might happen next.
Yeah, the stories everybody's is unique, but they're all heartbreaking.
Catholic Charities legal program runs off donations. Terry's hoping Houstonians can help because the immigration process is long.
So it varies, but yeah, it's years.
Okay, you know how Johns Hopkins University is tracking COVID cases? Well, Syracuse University tracks the immigration court backlog. And according to their data, Texas leads the nation with more than 200,000 cases pending in this fiscal year. A majority of those cases are pending in immigration courts across the Houston area, with each case averaging an 891-day wait, or about 2.5 years. You can see the data for yourself or make a donation to Catholic Charities Houston right now at KHOU.com. Len and Mia.
Such staggering numbers and analysis. Melissa Correa, thank you. A federal hearing for 2 Houston area men arrested in connection with the Capitol riots back in January has just wrapped up.
Yeah, one of the men, Christian Cortez, had his bond set at $50,000. The other guy, Benjamin LaRocca, has already bonded out of jail. Aniela Ruiz breaking down what happened in court.
More than 2 months after the Capitol riots in Washington, D.C., FBI agents arrested Benjamin LaRocca and Christian Cortez in Seabrook Friday. And today, Cortez appeared in federal court. Court documents state that 2 separate witnesses that went to school with Cortez and LaRocca in League City helped identify them through a YouTube video and Instagram video. According to court documents, Cortez and LaRocca both interviewed with FBI agents and admitted they drove a car from Texas to Virginia, where they stayed at a hotel. Documents say that on January 6th, they both drove 2 hours to Washington, D.C. for the Trump rally, and that LaRocca uploaded a video to his Instagram account of the march. Documents show LaRocca admitted to FBI agents that they followed a crowd into the Capitol and that he was chilling inside the Capitol, shouting, "Our house." Meanwhile, Cortez admitted he stepped in front of the doors and started yelling at officers. Court documents say he was yelling, "Oath breakers." Cortez even admitted he was sprayed by a fire extinguisher as officers were trying to close the doors to the Capitol. Here's a screenshot of Cortez allegedly confronting them and yelling, asking law enforcement to, quote, "do it some more." They're both facing a number of charges, including obstruction of justice, unlawfully entering a restricted building to disrupt government, and disruptive conduct on restricted grounds. Cortez faces additional charges, including assaulting a federal officer and civil disorder, charges that one local professor says are very serious felonies.
Obstructing a federal proceeding, and that's the charge that carries the 20-year maximum sentence. So that's definitely, comparable to an insurrection charge, right? That's the heart of it, if you will. But the other charges are serious too.
Aniela Ruiz, KHOU 11 News.
It is the place where children get a foundation. That's why many educators are saying about pre-K and kindergarten. But COVID-19 resulted in enrollment dips among the youngest students, something school districts are working to reverse. Jason Miles takes a closer look.
I am a bright light.
When I sat in on this Spring Branch ISD pre-K class in 2019, no one ever suspected what was just around the corner. But COVID-19 hit enrollment among this age group especially hard.
We had about 2,400 students that we were missing or who didn't show up, and roughly a third of those, about 800, were pre-K.
Spring Branch ISD Superintendent Dr. Jennifer Blaine says many students have returned over the course of the year, but learning loss and funding based on enrollment will be top concerns come next fall.
So it's important for us to get the word out because we want as many kids back in as we can get.
A number of districts are currently sharing messages like this on social media, encouraging families to pre-enroll. In Aldine ISD, school staff recently hit the streets to promote pre-K and kindergarten.
They went to local businesses in the area and they posted flyers.
Garcia Leza Primary School Principal Patricia Willis says outreach also included apartment complexes where many families live. These are photos of her staff and others making their rounds. Garcia Leza, which houses only pre-K and kindergarten classes, had more than 100 fewer students this school year. State leaders recently reported a 22% dip across Texas.
Pre-K and kinder is what they need so they can get both academics and social skills and so they're ready for elementary.
Districts are ready to get things as back to normal as possible by building up enrollment, beginning with the lowest grade levels.
We believe our kids are going to come back, and we're trying to do as much outreach as we possibly can.
In Houston, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
All right, folks, get ready. Tip-off for tonight's U of H game against Oregon State starting moments from now. The only place to watch the game on KHOU 11. That's the news for 6. Now let's cheer on the Cougs.
Yeah, we'll see you back here on KHOU 11 tonight after March Madness. We'll have all the latest from the game, plus your news headlines and weather. Have a great evening and go Cougs.
Go Cougs.